better, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Licence and General Purposes Committee. To get things starting and rolling, can I just start with the appointment of a chair for this meeting? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, could I have your nominations for chair of this panel, please?
Propose Councillor Cooper.
Seconded.
Thank you very much. Councillor Cooper, over to you.
Thank you. Can I just start by making an introduction? So I'm Councillor Beverly Cooper. I'm District Councillor for Sedlescombe, Westfield and Three Oaks.
I'm Councillor Catherine Field. I represent Battle North and Watlington.
Councillor Aaron Rathbone-Ariel for St Stephen's and Bexhill.
Matthew Tomset, Legal Advisor to the committee this morning.
Bruce Edson, Licensing Assistant.
Chris Godfrey, Licensing Officer.
I'm Mike Caulfield, Director of the brewery, representing our case today.
I'm Jack Hantz, and I will be the designated premises supervisor for the site.
Do I have permission to sign the minutes of the meeting of the General Licence Panel held on the 23rd of June?
Yes.
And do we have any disclosures of interest?
I don't think so, but for absolute clarity, I would just say that I am the District Councillor for Battle North and Watlington, and also County Councillor for Battle and Crowhurst Division, which includes Ashburnham. It isn't a prejudicial interest.
Sorry, I didn't say, do we have any apologies for absence?
We do have apologies from Councillor Stanger, who has been replaced by Councillor Rathbone-Ariel.
Thank you. Okay, so we're looking...
Excuse me, Chair, could I also address the absence of the objector? The relevant representation has been made, hence why we're having this subcommittee today. The party who made that representation is not present today. An email was received last night to Democratic Services stating they're unable to attend the hearing today. That was the full content of the email. I will just take you to Regulation 20 of the hearing regulations. If a party has informed the authority that he does not intend to attend or be represented at a hearing, the hearing may proceed in his absence. I would invite you and your colleagues just to sit back and make a decision as to whether on that and the strength of what we have there, giving in mind that the objector has known about this hearing for approximately 3 weeks now, whether you wish to proceed today or not.
I propose, Chair, that we continue with the hearing.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. We will proceed with the hearing today. Thank you. So we are looking at the application for a premises licence at Battle Brewery, Woodman's Yard, Penhurst Lane in Battle. As a panel, we have read through all of the papers in advance of this meeting. I'd like to invite Mr. Caulfield. Would you like to make some comments or representation today? Apologies. Can I have the licensing assistant present first? You can tell it's my first time as chair, so apologies.
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of this report is to determine the premises licence application under Section 18 of the Licensing Act 2003 for Battle Brewery at Woodman's Yard, Penhurst Lane, Battle, TN33 9QT. I will not read the report verbatim, but will summarise the information. The application was made by Mr. Caulfield on behalf of Caulfield 1066 Limited on the 19th of August, and the last date for representations was the 16th of September this year. The location plan, proposed licence area, including a site plan and photographs of the site, are in the pack, appendices A, B and C. They start on page 11 of the report. The application is for the sale or supply of alcohol as off sales only from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. No other licensable activities were applied for. Battle Brewery is a purpose-built brewery in a rural location. It's set back from the road with trees and woodland surrounding it on all sides. There is parking for a number of cars. The main focus of the brewery is to brew and supply their products to trade customers and their retail outlet on Battle High Street. The addition of off-sales at the brewery site will complement the current business to enable retail customers to collect orders directly from the brewery. Appendix D, which starts on page 21 of the report, details the steps that Mr Caulfield and Caulfield 1066 Limited intend to take to promote the 4 licensing objectives. In the event of the licence being granted, these will be translated into conditions included on the licence, along with additional conditions already agreed between the applicant and Sussex Police, unless the conditions are modified by the licensing authority following consideration of any representations received. The conditions submitted by Sussex Police are in Appendix E, which starts on page 23 of the report. The premises has not held a premises licence at that site previously and has been supplying their products to businesses only through alcohol warehousing registration scheme. I have checked their number. They have a valid registration with them. The premises the site has previously had 2 temporary event notices in 2023, but this was prior to Caulfield Limited, 1066 Limited taking over the site, and there were no complaints received for either of those events. One representation was received following the public advertisement of the premises application. This is reproduced in Appendix F, starting on page 27 of the report. The representation relates to concerns regarding crime and disorder, public safety and public nuisance. Planning did not make a representation. However, they made comments relating to a planning decision in July 2022 regarding the site, and the specifics of the planning comments are on page 5 of the report. For reference, planning and licensing regimes involve consideration of different, albeit related matters. Licensing committees are not bound by the decisions of the planning committee and vice versa. We will, however, inform planning of the outcome of the application in order for them to pursue any enforcement action which may be necessary in the future. The Licensing Act 2003 requires the local authority to carry out its function with a view to promoting the 4 licensing objectives of the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance and the protection of children from harm. In exercising those functions, the licensing authority must have regard to the guidance issued by the Secretary of State and its own statement of licensing policy. Under Section 181 and Schedule 5, Part 3 of the Licensing Act 2003, rights to appeal exist to the Magistrates' Court against the decision of the licensing authority. Such appeal can be made on behalf of the applicant, the holder of the premises licence, or any person who made a relevant representation in relation to the application. Under Section 18 of the Licensing Act 2003, the The following options are available to the general licensing panel. To grant the licence subject to conditions consistent with the operating schedule, modified to such extent as necessary for the promotion of the licensing objectives. To exclude from the scope of the licence any of the licensable activities which the application relates. To refuse to specify a person in the licence as the designated premises supervisor, or to reject the application. Conditions are modified if any of them are altered or omitted, or any new condition is added. The general licensing panel will be required to give reasons for their decision. In conclusion, having considered the application, representation and written and oral submissions made, the panel should determine the application.
Thank you. Right, now can I invite Mr Caulfield to make some comments, please? Thank you.
Thanks. How's that? Splendid. First of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity this morning to address you regarding your application and the subsequent objection. I have to say I was surprised by the objection, and by not so much as an objection, but by the nature of the objection, with all sorts of unfounded suppositions about what was likely to result from our fairly, I thought, straightforward proposal. If I may, in a second, I'll just run through the objections and hopefully deal with them and you know, offset their validity. I think when the reason for us entering this application was demand driven. By that I mean people have frequently been arriving at the brewery, which is just off the main road, so a lot of people are just passing by, seeking to purchase our, and you can understand this, our lovely ales, to take away from the premises, to enjoy in the privacy of their own homes, or maybe a party or a picnic. It is not about drinking in or near the premises. I must emphasise that. We have facilities there. We've got space. We've parking for about 10 cars, so it's not huge amounts of cars coming and going. It's just off the main road, as I say, 40 metres down the lane, so it doesn't really impact Penhurst Lane, which is, I think, part of the worry here. We have staff on site. Jack here is the brewery manager, an experienced licensee, as am I. There are other staff coming and going from there, so there's always somebody around. So the raison d'etre is just to fulfil a need, and to be honest, if it can generate some more income for our brewery. We're a small company, very much a battle company. All in good, with as far as I can see, no disruption to the neighbourhood. You know, we're talking about people dropping in. You know, not great queues of people, parties going on, or anything else. So I just thought, you know, it would be a great thing to do, and it would be quite a handy local facility. I mean, people nearby, and there's a large campsite on the estate, beach estate, and people regularly walk down from the campsite through the woods, lovely woods, wanting our beer. You know, it is a frustration that we cannot supply them. You know, it is a demand. And I don't really understand how it could disrupt things. The premises are easily accessible on foot or with parking. There's big front entrance. People are not. You don't want people in the brewery because we're brewing beer. We don't want people walking around. Health and safety, obviously, factors. Hygiene factors. You know, beer's a living thing. You don't want people messing around with it and putting their hands in it and sort of. So I just think it's a good thing for us. It's actually a good thing for the neighbourhood. Tourism is a major factor, obviously, in our neighbourhood. And it's something else tourists can do. They can pop up to the brewery, take beer away to wherever they come from. Great souvenir. If I just could now refer to the actual objections. Takeaway alcohol sales will inevitably encourage street drinking, littering, surrounding roads, parks and open spaces. Excuse me. So a tickly cough. I mean, this is just not going to happen. Street drinking, there isn't a street. It's a main road. People won't be littering, so they're carrying a beer to their car or put it in their rucksack or whatever and going away. I could see no possibility of people surrounding roast parks. There are no surrounding parks. And there are no surrounding open spaces. I mean, it's just not there. Late night purchases would generate noise and disturbance. The maximum we would sell takeaways, maximum sell takeaways is 7 o'clock in the evening. But as a matter of routine, we are open 10 till 5. So it was only very rarely somebody would be around later than that. There's certainly no way late nights not happening at all. Increased bottle and can waste. They're taking it away, aren't they? I mean, it's just not happening. Can I just grab a cough sweet here and get the It's a quiet residential area, yes. And the two properties joining us have not objected at all to this. The people objecting live some distance, and nobody else anywhere has objected. Because I think most people appreciate it's not going to disturb them in any way at all. Certainly, it's a quiet residential area where families and households are entitled to peace. Well, I quite agree, but we ain't going to interfere with that peace, and we don't want to. We're local people. I'm the Battle man, so's Jack. We're local boys. We want to do what's good for Battle. As well as the whole philosophy of the brewery. It's a local company doing our best for the community. We provide jobs. How many jobs do we find? 9 or 10? 9 or 10 jobs we offer. Primarily, mainly to local people. So we do our bit. At the weekend, as a matter of interest, we provide a huge beer hall for the reenactment of the Battle of Hastings with the English heritage. And there we were in the thick of it. There were 12 to 15,000 visitors all coming into town. You know, we were providing a big asset. So we're doing our bit. I mean, that's probably not that's pretty irrelevant, but you know, just saying. They go on to refer to public safety. increasing drink driving, I mean, nonsense. People, it's the opposite. I can see that objection if it was a pub, but people put the beer in the cars, say on their rucksack, and go away. There's no reason for them to lurk around, drinking, then jumping in their cars and driving away, having had a few. It's just not the nature of the beast. The premises are not designed or staffed. That's an off-licence. Well, as I mentioned earlier, they are, you know, there's bags of space. We've got licensees there. We've got, you know, security, they've got cameras all over the shop. The additional traffic will put strain on the narrow street. Well, it won't, because the narrow lane isn't, as I say, impacted on this. I mean, it's the main road there, and that road, you know, it's a big open road. You can see there's really good visual access to it. It's actually convenient. Prevention of crime and disorder. They're suggesting there's going to be some rowdy scenes on the streets, and vandalism, intimidation, and criminal damage. Well, we are a traditional local brewery. The sort of people that come to us, if it happens to the brewery, or to our tap room, are not a load of yobbos who are going to go around the neighbourhood intimidating people. I mean, it's just not how it is it? I mean, you know, some people, our customers, wherever they are law-abiding citizens, often of an older age group, often like real ale enthusiasts. You know, they're just, you know, most tame members of society, really. Their joy in life is just enjoying a decent pint of beer. I mean, that's it. Now, I'll come to me what is an important underlying theme to their objections, and that is they seem to be under the impression that there's some secret Battle Brewery model which will result in the premises being turned into a venue for drinking, eating, events, music. They seem to know the Battle Brewery model better than we do. I want to make it absolutely clear, I'll explain why. We have absolutely no intention of pursuing this with any application to turn it into a venue where people will be drinking, eating, maybe listening to music, milling round, being rowdy, you know. The fundamental reason for that, there's several reasons, I'll tell you what they are. The whole raison d'etre of Battle Brewery is to create and expand a brand. By that, I mean a brand which is recognised in pubs, clubs, supermarkets. Jenson's just started stocking our beers. That's what we're interested in. We're not interested in people fluffing around at the brewery, you know, drinking. It's just not, it's not remotely in our model, to use their word. We don't think, so number one, you know, it's not what the nature of the company is. We want Battle Brewery beer out there in the pubs, etc., etc. And further afield, you know, geographically, we're spreading out. Again, that'll create more jobs, you know. The space, it's quite a big building, but I mean, you know, Ruth had to go and look at it. Where are these people going to go? There's nowhere for them to go. He's got a whole load of beer equipment. You've got loads of storage, offices, toilets. I mean, there's nowhere for these people to sit around carousing without a huge investment in further buildings. Our investment will be going to expand the brand. And by that, I mean going to improve the equipment for brewing, more staff, more investment in marketing and sales. Furthermore, we already have a brewery tap in the High Street where people can go and, people can go and enjoy our beer comfortably. So why have another tap? I'll be absolutely clear on that. This is not some cunning wheeze to do that. And it wouldn't work anyway. They have alluded, some in these objections, to a previous regime, not us, who had a brewery up elsewhere in the estate in some old farm buildings. And there indeed they did have a bar on the site. They had gatherings of music, food, watch sport. I gather it was slightly noisy, but not, even then, not excessively. That was a different regime. That was not us. That was not us. We have absolutely no desire to go back down that track. I want to be absolutely clear on this. This is it. It's a nice, simple plan to fulfill a need, fulfill a demand, and generate a bit more income for us. You know, that's what we are, a company. We're out to make profit. So, you know, I hope that clarifies what we're about. You know, that clarifies our view of the future. You know, the future is the brand. We've got our tap room. If we expanded the tap room, or in any way at all, it would be in Battle itself. I mean, if we want to make it bigger, we'd move it to different premises. You wouldn't bring it out 3 miles up the road into the countryside, would we? So, there it is. So really, all I can do is ask you to allow us to go ahead with this. And I can only see it as being a benefit, obviously, to us and to Battle. I'll conclude with that. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Caulfield. Mr. Hans, is it Hans or Hans? Mr. Hans, would you like to add any additional comments? Thank you.
So yeah, sure. I just agree fully with Mike there. Also, we put our conditions to the police. They had no objections. We'd do a check 25 policy. Anyone we suspected of drinking in the car park and driving away, we would inform the relevant people. I have no concerns about people being on site selling beer that shouldn't be there. It's only me there and a brewer. I am a licence holder and have been at the tap room as well. Was a designated premises supervisor for our high street sites. We had no issues while I was there. So really, yeah, I don't see any relevant concerns raised by the objector. Yeah, littering is people buying beer, going home. It's quite simple, really. So yeah, that's all I've got to add to it.
Thank you, Mr. Hans.
I have no questions, thank you.
Yeah, I have no questions. Just thank you, Mr. Caulfield, for carrying on with your cough there as well. Thank you.
I do apologise.
No, not at all, not at all.
These things always happen. It's embarrassing.
No, not at all. I was just looking for COVID myself. So, thank you.
Are there any additional comments before we retire to discuss?
Thank you, Chair. Now would be the point that we'd hear from the objector, were they to be here. Miss Edson covered the points in her report. Mr. Caulfield addressed the points as he went through. For the sake of openness, and my advice to you is that your decision today will be based solely on the licensing objectives, and the relevant ones that have been raised are public nuisance, certain aspects of public safety, and prevention of crime and disorder. Just to clarify, because it has been raised, any intentions for the future of the premises or what have you are not relevant to the licensing objectives and will not influence your decision today. Yours will be based solely on the 3 licensing objectives that have been raised here. I am aware, and I'm sure you will confirm, that you've read the representations in full prior to this. You've been addressed on them by Ms Edson and Mr Caulfield today as well. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're just going to retire to discuss. We have listened carefully to all the submissions, and we are bound to be directed by the principal licensing objectives and material considerations of prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, protection of children from harm. On balance, the panel accepts the evidence provided in support of the premises licence application, together with the letters of objection, and has decided to grant the application subject to conditions. In recognising the concerns raised about the specific issues under the licensing objectives, the application is granted subject to the conditions as detailed in the report and dependencies. No additional conditions are applied. A copy of the panel's decision will be publicly available to all parties and published on the Council's website within 5 working days. I do just need to read out the details of rights of appeal. So under the provisions of Section 181 and Schedule 5 of the Licensing Act 2003, there is a right of appeal against the decision of the Licensing Committee if you are aggrieved at the outcome. This right of appeal extends to the applicant in the case of a refusal or restrictions on the licence or the imposition of conditions to the licence. The right of appeal also extends to persons who have made representations where the licence has been granted or that relevant conditions have not been imposed upon the licence. Full details of all the rights of appeal can be found within Schedule 5 of the Act. Any appeal should be made to the Magistrates' Court, Edward Street, Brighton, within 21 days from the date of notification of the decision. You must contact the Magistrates' Court to establish the formal procedure for the appeal. Thank you very much. Anything to add? I think that concludes. That concludes the meeting. That concludes the meeting today. Thank you.